We are ready to begin. All right, so another 45 seconds and we begin. We're just waiting for some more people to join in. In the meanwhile, thanks to all of you, each one of you who's joined on time. Really love that. Okay, that's the spirit. The spirit of not just being on time, being a little ahead of time. All right, that really helps. Okay, fantastic. So another 25 seconds and we shall begin. I trust you picked up something to drink. I mean, some coffee, water or something.
The digital avid mind experience reaching you.
Namaskar. My name is Ashish Vidyarthi, and to some of you who may not know who I am, let me give you a background. I'm a professional actor. Over the last 28 years, I have been acting across 11 languages and done 200 plus films across them. I'm a national award winner, and I also love to interact and converse with people. So therefore, apart from my films and television and my web series, I also interact with organizations and love to do programs, curate unique programs for organizations and for people. I'm married, I have a lovely wife, Pilu, amazing friend of mine, and we have our 19-year-old son. His name is Arth. He's at this moment studying at Berkeley, California. He's there, we are here, and as I begin this conversation, I want to let you know that where I am today is Arth's room. That's right, it's his room, it's his place where he studies. And today the conversation is on happiness. And I thought it will be a great idea that I'll have that conversation here in Arth's room. All right? So today, as we go through this conversation, not just the content, even the method, it has something in it for you. So whatever is happening around here, allow it to touch you. Don't just keep watching me, okay? Allow whatever that is happening here to touch you. You get that feel of it, all right? So first of all, are you comfortable? Are you comfortable wherever that you're sitting? You can just say, yes, yes. You know, if you can just send a message saying that, yes, you're comfortable. All right? Got it. Okay, got it. You're comfortable. Are you wearing comfortable clothes? Right? So how many of you like tight clothes, very tight clothes, like light tight clothes? How many of you like loose clothes, you know, like really nice, comfortable cotton? I love cottons. It makes it breathy. Essentially, do you like being comfortable? Tell me honestly, do you like being comfortable or not? Yes or yes? Yeah. We all like being comfortable, my friend. And for us to be comfortable, we do anything to keep ourselves comfortable. Isn't it true? Yeah. So we do anything to really have comfort. So do things. Unless, of course, we are going somewhere and we say, yeah, I have to wear this. That's another thing. But otherwise, we'll do whatever within our power to be comfortable. We feel really, really comfortable. Is that clear for each one of us? True for each one of us? Got that. The mind game is similar, my friend. Just like you want to wear comfortable clothes to keep yourself comfortable, to be in a comfortable environment, to remain comfortable, this mind game is also our commitment. So the first question that I want to begin this happiness conversation is asking you, what is your commitment? Is your commitment to be happy? Or is your commitment to be happy? You heard my choice, right? What do you choose? I got that, my friend. I'm very, very clear that human beings anywhere in the world, wherever we are, whatever we are going through, we are committed to be happy. We really want to be happy. Really, really, really want to be happy. But then something happens. And today's conversation is about that, what happens in between. Between, I really want to be happy and I'm not happy here. This conversation is going to be a personal share. I'm going to share some things from my life, and I want you to impact that in your life. Because whatever I have gone through, which I will share, you would have gone through in some other form. Change the name of the place, change the name of the person, change the gender. Our lives are, if not same, they are similar. All right? So, the first question that I have is which I understood a few years back, is that suffering. I'm suffering here. Feeling bad is an option. Suffering is an option. I got that a few years back. Yeah, you're working in terrible scenarios. The scenarios are not good. I got that. That is there. But to suffer that is an option. So, in the 1980s, I used to live in Delhi with my parents. My mother, Mr. Reba Vidyarthi, my father, Mr. Govind Vidyarthi, extremely loving parents. and we had our house right across the Jamuna in a place called Lakshmi Nagar. And that area was they made plots and sold it, and it was still not authorized. So it was called the unauthorized area. Okay, so unauthorized colony it was called. And so therefore in the unauthorized colonies where thousands lived, the responsibility for the lanes, the upkeep of the lanes, to make the channels for where water would pass, drain would go, it was all on the citizens who were living there. Obviously, we are not very, very good at that. Because what used to happen is that each monsoon, Delhi was really hot. And then right after that hot weather, it used to rain. And it was such a relief. Such a relief. I remember in school, when I was studying in Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, when the first rain came, everybody in the class would jump, ooh, maza aa gaya. Because, have you heard the term petrichor? Petrichor, yeah, it's a smell of water touching dry ground. It is a bhini bhini khushbu, saudhi si khushbu, mati ki. And when that reaches your nose and your nostrils and you get, what? It used to bring a smile to everyone's face except mine. Because as it rained around me, sitting in Curzon Road, Delhi, New Delhi 1, I used to get that beautiful smell of petrichor, but I used to be scared. Because by the time I would reach home, and if it rained heavily, our lanes and bylanes of Lakshmi Nagar would be waterlogged. And waterlogged is not just a thing that it's waterlogged. The problem is what is there in the water. So imagine that was a period where there was no sewage. So the whole lot of, some people had septic tank. Please bear with me as I give you the gory details. And some people did not. So there was fecal matter which used to float around in the water. And it petrified me that I would have to wade through it and reach home. And it used to be a ritual for us that as we went home, reached home, there was potassium permanganate. We used to wash our feet, take a bath, and then go in. That was it. That same rain brought smiles to somebody, and they were like, yeah, whoops. But for me, it was scary. But something interesting happened here, friends. What I discovered in that period is that as Ma, Baba, I, and the thousands of people in that colony, as we endured that, we also knew that it would pass. And it did pass. Oh yes, it did. Except, in a few years, the roads got made by the municipality, but some other problem came up instead of that. Welcome to life, dear friends. It's up to us if we want to suffer this problem. Because by the time this problem is solved, there's another problem which is going to come up, ready to welcome us to the world of suffering. Today, we're going to find ways in how we can actually sidestep that thing called suffering and allow us to make some powerful choices. Will that be worth it for you? All right, fantastic. So, the first thing that I really want you to get is that it starts very, very simply. As I said, that starts with your commitment, right? It starts with my commitment. It starts with your commitment. It's not like a concept that I'm talking about, but really your commitment. And by your commitment, I mean, what is it that you're inspired by? And you have to ask yourself that. Because we don't typically ask that question of ourselves. Do we? Do we ask ourselves, what are you inspired by? I want you to begin asking yourself that question. What are you inspired by? Or rather, who are you inspired by? Because that role model is going to play a very, very important part in this conversation. It's what I call the magnet which draws us. Now, in my programs, one of the things that I do is that I allow people to get access conversations, conversations with which they can access huge possibilities. Now, most of us have seen possibilities, but how much can we push ourselves? So instead of pushing, I love to be pulled by what I call invited by, what I also call being pulled by a magnet. So let us choose those magnets. And it begins with the role model of who are those people who inspire you. Now, typically, if you look at life, you're inspired by people that you know. You know them. Oh, wow, I know that person. And typically that person is successful. Very well known, right? Yeah, all of us, yeah. That's how you know those people, right? People around you are like, okay, I waste here. My ideal is there, very far away from me. Just look at the success. Wow, what success, what swanky cars. Wow, what position. Super duper. Got it, my friend. That for me is not so much of an inspiration, but closer to being an aspiration. It's something that they've achieved. If I can achieve that, and do you see my expression also? It's like there is a grit in that. If only I can achieve it, and I will come to this expression. Consider, I'm not talking about that, what they have achieved. I'm talking of what they went through. What they went through. How will it be if we can look at people and see? Pick up people who went through stuff with grace. Because that is going to enlighten our journey. Dear friends, because let's get this very, very clear. Happiness is part of the journey. It's not a place to reach. Because we don't even know whether we could reach anywhere or not. We may just go. But en route, what we experience is going to be our life. And this conversation is about en route. How are we? So let's get back to one interesting thing before I get into the three main things which are going to be the basis of this conversation. So consider for a moment, my friend, that happy state has nothing to do with success or failure. Yeah, you heard me right. Happy state has nothing to do with success or failure. Because whatever you are calling success or failure, ask somebody else. They are either, you're saying, I've done nothing. Somebody says, what, are you doing such a lot? Or you say, yes, I've done something, and somebody says, you've done nothing here. So consider, happiness is nothing to do with success or failure. Happiness is all to do with what you say about this state of yours. So my parents, you haven't even heard of them mostly. Reba and Govind Vidyarthi, extraordinary human beings, have done so much with their life, have contributed to so many people. But you know what? Not many people know about them. Just like your parents, they may have done so much, but not many people have known about them. Does that mean that they are not successful? Dear friends, the generation before us, it is said that they were not very aspirational. Consider they lived their life and moved on happy. A whole lot of us have actually put the reasons of our happiness there, into that wonderful world of comparison. And therefore, we are waiting that one day, someday, we may reach there, and that day we will gift ourselves happiness. Until then, we remain upset. We also remain angry, and rightfully so, and a mix of all of that. So, today we are going to dismantle some of those things. And I love to do it. You know why? Because it's one life that you and I have, dear friends. I want to make the most of it. And I want to make the most of it with happiness. Happiness. So, let's get this clear. Life in this entire conversation is divided into three parts. The first part is me. Me. The central part is me. The second part is the world. And the third part is the one-sided conversation that I am having about the world. We'll come to each one of them. All right? So consider there is a certain things that I want for myself. And certain things that I have, it brings a smile to my face. And then I look at the world. And then I see something. And for the first time, this thing that I have is slightly less or slightly more. I have started having a one-sided conversation with those things. And you know why I am calling it a one-sided conversation? Because I am setting the rules of whether I'm a loser, and I am setting the rules whether I'm a winner. I do not know at all what's really happening in the world. So this conversation is for you to really get, my friends, that our mind plays extraordinary tricks with us. And mostly that mind convinces each one of us, what is there to be happy here? There's so many reasons for me to be unhappy. So this conversation is meant to disrupt that beautiful friend of ours who's sitting right here inside us and allow us to alter our view so that when that mind of ours plays those roles, we'll do something about it. All right? So fantastic. So let us get to one very interesting rule which might just hurt you a bit, but take it from me. You don't mind if I give some straight conversation. Super duper. Please get it, my friends. How many of you believe in things that you deserve? This I deserve. Come on, this I deserve. I deserve this. Right? You do believe, right? Got it. Fantastic. Congratulations. Super. I'm very happy for you. But let me tell you one beautiful piece of news. Life is not about what you deserve. Who cares? Life is about what you negotiate. Because in life, you don't get what you deserve, my friend. In life, you get what you negotiate. Already people are thinking, aha, now he's going to talk to us about negotiations, how we must get the best deal out of life. Let me surprise you, dear friend. Life doesn't want to give you anything. We are ready to always get disappointed because we want to win everything out of life. My friends, when I say that in life you don't get what you deserve, I want you and I to really get it absolutely clear that thing that you say I deserve, it's a figment of this imagination, which is fueled in a very helpful way by people around us who will ask us questions. But don't you sometimes feel that you deserve more? You're like, should you have? I'm like, not that I should be saying that, but don't you think that, they have not. Those are those beautiful seeds, which I also call the Trojan seeds. The Trojan seeds of doubt, which people plant inside of you. They're not promising, they're not giving you anything. They're just making you doubt that probably the life that you lead, the life that you have, the things that you're around, not enough. You should have gotten more. And lo and behold, they're just added to our unhappiness. Dear friends, these kind of things when people tell me, and whole lot of them tell me, Ashish, I really think that you're a phenomenal actor. I think you should have done this. I think that you should have done this. You're better than that actor. You're better than this. I got it. Fantastic. Thank you so much, dear friend. But you know what I have? I have what I've done. And in no way will you, dear friend, allow me to disrespect what I have done and what I have got. And I will share something personal with you. A few years back, when there was a period that I was only working in Hindi films, and then I started working in films in other languages. Now, something very interesting about languages and in India is that Hindi is the language and everything else is language. So a friend of mine, I remember, at a party met me and said, "So Ashish, I believe you're doing language films?" So I told him, "I've always done films in languages." So, no, I mean regional language films. I said, yeah, regional language, I got it. Yeah, so I'm doing films in languages other than Hindi also, which are also languages. So even Hindi is a language. So there was a little banter. But then he said, no, of course I got it, Ashish, but do some work in Hindi. I said, of course. But, at that point I took it, I walked away. But later that evening, I just walked up to him. And I said that, hey, listen, I must tell you something, dear friend. I got your concern for me. I got your concern that you really want me to do some amazing films in Hindi. But I also want to let you know that I have deep respect for the work that I have done across languages. For the simple reason that work has allowed me to bring food onto my table, make sure that my child gets his education, make sure that my family is taken care of. And thanks to that work, I'm known to so many more people. So I have deep respect for that work. Now it was a moment. It was a moment when I had to confront when somebody was trying to make me feel like, poor Ashish, poor you. Why this conversation is important, dear friend, is that remember, whatever is your scenario, if you are really unlucky, then you will have a lot of people feeling sorry for you. And that is something which you really have to snap out of. Because remember, a victim can never be happy. Remember, if your commitment is to be happy, then victim is not a role that you need to play. Because victim feels that the world has done her in, has done him in. The victim has no power. And imagine, even if you and I live for one single day as a victim, what it does to the quality of our life. You getting a sense of what I'm sharing? So a critical part in this, again, this is what you say about what you have. And somewhere, you have to be straight with people and with yourself. Hey, listen, I got it that you're concerned about me. Do not write and speak something about what I have. If you want to help me, show me the access. This conversation is an access conversation. This conversation is not, oh, I'm feeling so sad for yourself because you're going through all this stuff during this time. Who cares, my friend? Who cares? And why should anyone care? What matters to you and me is to be extraordinarily happy right now. Not wait for that amazing thing to happen and then I will be happy. So this conversation is really to get that throughout our life, we'll be continuously negotiating with what I want and what is there. Because isn't it true in your life too? Through your life, dear friends, there are some things that you really wanted and most of the things didn't happen. Admit it. Admit it. Yes. Welcome to life. But you're still around. Because you said, oh, come on, Ashish, that's practical. Got it, my friends. Practical is a word that you use. But you know what? You learned how to dance with life. Happiness is your ability to dance with life. So my parents, my father, mother, we never had a car. Baba always wanted to buy a car. And in that period, there were no bank loans. And he wanted to buy a Morris Minor, a second-hand Morris Minor. I remember that हमारे जो taxi driver थे सरदार जी, he used to always tell us, "Oh, विद्यार्थी जी, एक गड्डी है, मिलवाता हूँ." But Baba never got down to buy it because I quite clearly knew that Baba never had those 35,000 rupees which were needed to buy that car. So there was a mismatch between what he wanted and what he had. There's a mismatch. But something interesting which I saw in him was that he was okay. He was okay with what was there. Years back, when I started doing films, I remember he came, they were still staying in Delhi. They had come down for one of the first visits here. I took them to the revolving restaurant in Mumbai. And we sat there and I got the chef to, come there and serve a dish. Why serve the dish? You cook the dish there itself. And there was a flaming dish was created and all that. I was so happy that I had got my parents to a 5-star hotel. It was like huge joy. And my father, he saw it, and as he was eating, I asked him, "Baba, how's the food?" And he said, "It's all right." So the chef was standing there. I said, "Baba, it's better than all right, right?" Baba said, "Yeah, it's all right." Something amazing, it struck me at that moment was that same Baba, it was all right that he did not have money to buy a Morris Minor, and it was all right for him that his son had gotten him to a 5-star hotel and was giving him some food. Can we be all right with what we have? Because that is what we have, dear friends. And please get it, that is much more than a lot of people have. And you and I have actually seen people living their life in a percentage of the money that you and I have. And you and I have seen happy people spending quality time with their family, laughing with them. Haven't we seen kids going on the beach, just walking in the sun, carrying this child like that, just walking. They don't have an air-conditioned car where they got off and they went to the beach. They just walk. They just go to this small shop and they buy and they on the stalls that they eat. It's happiness, dear friend. It's happiness because they have chosen that. They are not losers. No, they are not. Neither are you and me. Because through this conversation, happiness is lost when a part of us starts believing that we are losers. You get that? It's a straight conversation, but please get this. A key part for me that I got then, as I share with you now, is life is a flow. This period, which is not very good for you and me, I get that, my friend, this will pass. I don't know when, but it will. Just like that amazing period that you and I have seen, it has passed too. Nothing remains. And I'm not at all being philosophical about it. I'm not being philosophical because I don't know about you. This COVID crisis and all the things that are happening around me has happened before in my life because I'm a self-employed actor. Through my life, I have seen so many times that I have gone out of work. I have no work. As in like, not less work, I mean no work. And people around you think that you're an actor, wow. So what's your next thing? And that's why, we actors go through a lot of stuff. We have to put up a facade for people so that people don't realize what we are going through. So I have gone through a lot. And if you're straight with yourself, you have gone through times when there was no hope around you, haven't you? But there's a difference, my friend. Please get it. At that point, there was someone who was telling you and someone who was telling me, it'll pass, don't worry, it'll pass. Except at this moment, there's no one telling us that because everyone's heart is broken, completely broken. And therefore, the need, that critical need at this point is that we need to communicate. We need to communicate, my friends. That what you are going through, that which is making you unhappy, do not bottle it. So I'm first of all grateful that you have come here. You've come here, you're engaging in this conversation. It is important for you to get that there are others like you around the world who are being impacted, not just by this scenario, but by any adversity. And the second part is that when you reach out and you communicate with people in your life, remember we said, this is me, and then that's the world. So communicate with the world what you're going through. Negotiate with them. Let them know, listen, this is what my scenario is at this moment. I'll tell you. There's many a times that I do not like to do certain things and it makes me unhappy. And people say, come on, Ashish, you have to do this. At that point, I have managed to communicate with them. I say, listen, man, I'm really unhappy if I do this. If I say I'm just doing it for you, it'll make me unhappy because I do not believe in this. I am going through this. I need to take care of myself. Say that, my friend. Trust me. If you reach out, you will discover some amazing things. First thing that you discover is that you're okay with your vulnerability. I have a lot of chinks in my armor. In fact, over the years, I've removed my armor. That's the reason I'm able to speak openly, because in any case, you know my truth. In any case, your truth is known to people around you. What is there to hide? Happiness is your ability to embrace the present. It is not your ability to wait that then one day when I do that, then I will gift myself happiness. Because happiness, in the absence of it, uncertainty, fear, anger, desperation sits inside of us. And guess what? Whom does it impact other than us? It impacts our families. Again, it was an interesting learning for me, returning back from a long schedule. I think it was in Hyderabad, really hot. We were shooting on the rocks in the summer. I was returning back, I was just lying down on the flight. I said, I just want to come home and just lie down and I'll tell people, don't talk to me at all. And then by the time I was landing, I said, hello, what have you done, Ashish? What have you done so much that you're not going to, you're going to victimize your family? That Pilu and Mowgli, Earth, they feel that no, our father has worked so hard that we should now just be quiet. Remember, he's kind of going through a lot of tension. And from that day on, I altered that for myself forever. I said, I am not going to bring all those tensions home because I'm going to just magnify them. So by the time I reach home, I'm like, hello, what are we doing? And when people say, how is your shoot? I say, amazingly hot. And like amazingly tired. Now, when I'm able to laugh at what I've gone through, there are times when in this entire period, when people saying, hey, Ashish, how's work? I said, amazing, Pilu, no work. So let's travel. So in fact, there used to be a joke. I used to tell people, Pilu, I'm feeling so low and down and out. I don't want to meet anybody. Let's go and meet some people today. Now, when you have a laugh at yourself, you're able to actually get that I'm making too much of it. You kind of, it's a bit like this, Now it's a children's game, but I love playing it. You have anything, just like marbles, just place it on the floor. All right? Place it on the floor and lie down. Lie down right next to it like this. And you'll have the marbles right here. And as you bring it closer to your eye, you'll notice that the marble is a huge thing. And you can hardly see anything around. And then when you get up, it's just tiny marbles. It's just tiny marbles which are lying around, and there's so much. Now, it's not just a game, my friend. It's not just a game. It's how life really looks at us and how we look at life. That one-way communication, we make things big. It's a bit like, a stain. If there is a stain on your shirt, if you keep looking at it, the stain becomes larger. Remember one thing, dear friend. There's a difference between a freshly painted house. Have you seen that? Freshly painted house. And have you also lived in your house, which has been painted, but now it has stains? It is people, and it's probably some kid who's done stuff, or even if the kid has not done, somebody's head has touched the wall, some marks have been left. That's why they say in that beautiful ad, they say, ye daag achhe hain. My friends, life is about the stains. Life is not a stain-free life. Life is about the bumps that you and I have gone through. Life is about this bump you and I are going through. If we can own it, if we can really see that, you know what, I am going through this, but this will pass. Just like the good times in the past also went past. So it allows you to have a look at things and allow people not to stop you. For example, I'll give you an example. People have always told me that I'm very dark. So growing up in Delhi, you're dark. People, actor community, many a times, oh, you're very heavy. I got that. I am dark and I am overweight. Now, that doesn't mean that I do not have the right to live. Yes, I do not have that which you have, maybe. And I do not have that which you have. I got that. But that doesn't mean that I will demean myself. Happiness is your ability to stand up for what is you and what is yours. And as I complete this, I just want you to know one thing. Happiness is a bit like the intelligence quotient. It's a happiness quotient that you and I have. It's a happiness quotient that you have, and I will finally leave you with just one question, and you may answer that. Do you want to die happy, or do you want to die upset, angry, sad, and scared? Do you want to die happy, or do you want to die sad, upset, scared? Got that? Well, my friend, the story of life is that we do not know where it will end. It might end at this moment. And therefore, I really want you to fulfill on the promise that you have given to yourself right now. If you want to die happy, this is the moment for you to live happy. Because happiness is not something which somebody else will come and give to you. It is you who's saying happy things about what you have. Because there are many who do not even have this and are sleeping easy. Up to you and me, dear friend. Because when this thought came, I do keep remembering that I have a choice how I will die. If I can die anytime, might as well have this moment also full of cheer and happiness. Yes, my friend, happiness. Let that be the way you live. And I promise you one thing, as you live with happiness, people around you will be inspired to have that happiness as part of their life. You will be spreading the good word. This world at this point needs hope. This world at this point and at all points needs happy people who are there for others. Because happy people really love to be grateful to what they have, and therefore they share. So welcome to a world in which you are going to share yourself and enrich others with your happiness. Thank you. My name is Ashish Vidyarthi, and this conversation is inside of my commitment that during this period, I will engage in conversations like this, which allow people to take some benefit back with